Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. This reading is going to be on Madeleine Soto. I wanted to do this reading actually. I was between Elijah, Sebastian and Madeleine, and I thought I was late to the game with Madeleine, but I've had a few requests on different videos to see if I can do about Maddie. I don't know if she was called Maddie. I just keep saying Maddie instead of Madeleine. So if I change to Maddie, there's something, maybe she was called Maddie with her friends. And I have notes all over the place on my notebook from when I wanted to do the reading, and I thought maybe I'm just a bit late. But there's still questions in terms of the mother. I believe there's also still questions on why, because that drives me insane. What she would have suffered. And I'm going to go through, as I do, what I know. This might need to have a second part, and so if it does need a second part, I'd appreciate if you are interested, whoever is interested, subscribe and then comment that you want the second part. Otherwise, I'm going to go on to also another read, and I also want to do a part 2 of Sebastian. Before I do that, something that's interesting with these cases, Elijah, Sebastian and Madeleine, they're very different energies in terms of what's happened. Now, just before I forget, Madeleine's energy, that when I'm just, more or less the comments that I've received have been within the last few hours to do a reading. I'm going to pull the table, I'm sorry if there's a shake. Reading, and I'm doing it straight away. So I've not really had time, apart from my old jiggy notes where I've made notes all over the place. They're all the same timeline. And when I do my global psychic predictions, you'll find that I bring in things like this. So one of the things that I gave was a timeline of rings and veils and crime and stuff just being brought down. And since last year, I've been saying that there will be a lot of things that come up in the news, some things that test us if we're going to buy it. And I'm not talking about crime necessarily here. I'm talking about governments as well, or announcements, and then backtracking. But a lot of veils are going to be lifted because a lot of people are not going to buy in. So a lot of masks are going to need to be shed. There's a lot that's going to be brought into the news. But what's significant about these is that we're talking about, Elijah was only 3. We've got Madeleine, who was just 13. We've got Sebastian, who was, I believe, 15. And I will do a follow-up reading on Sebastian, because if you've not seen that reading, a lot of what I stated before that's just come out in the news, I'd stated in that reading. And so I want to do a follow-up reading, and there's been a comment to see if I can do a follow-up reading. That comment actually hit something that I said didn't make sense from what was stated in an interview, and I'll go into that separately. But the energy of this reading is different than, for example, where I say Elijah had a lot of dark energies, and those energies were humans that commit crimes. Yes, it's dark and it's negative, but there's also energy attachments, and that was what was around Elijah and the people that were around him. When I say people, know who I'm talking about. In this case, this is evil, of course. And one thing that annoys me is that when you bring children in this world, you don't have to get them the latest Nike or Adidas, but the one thing that you need to do as a parent is provide them with safety. Protection and safety is what a child needs. Without that, even if you're providing a home, it impacts them significantly. And there is definitely a failure here. Now let's put the disclaimer that all my videos are for entertainment purposes only. Names that might be stated in this could be characters. Names that could be stated in this You need to do your own research, fact finding, and in the end, the law enforcement are there to prove who's guilty and who's not guilty. This is only my opinion, and I use divination. The second part of this reading, we've finished disclaimer. The second part of this reading might be channeling a bit more on Maddie. See how far I get into this reading. But stick with me and let's see what we get on the reading. Right, like a teacher. Yeah, so I was getting really angry, and I was like, oh, if I do this reading, I hope I don't swear, because I don't swear. But I was like thinking, I was like, F this, F that, and I was like, what is this energy? Angry. And I think it's actually the boyfriend's energy. I think he's a narcissist. I think he was, I think the mother was a weakling. And there's something about the grandmother's energy that I can't stand. I'm not saying that she didn't do it, but I know that what I've seen is, I've seen part of a 4-minute interview, I think, or 2-minute of the mother where she sat down with the news. I think it's the first time, and she's just shaking. That shaking, I'm not saying there's no grief, that shaking is more nerves than grief that's coming through. First thing I could pick up on. Secondly, and I think that was before the boyfriend was arrested, I'm not sure. Secondly was then a news channel, again, thumbnail type thing. We have the grandmother, and it was just sort of her voice. And I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, okay, I'm not listening. 30 seconds in, I changed it, because I was like, what's the point of listening to all this at this moment in time? But when I think of her, there's something that I don't like. And I'm not saying she's involved, but there's a superficial element to her about image and not consciousness. What's the word? What would be the word for her? A lack of depth. I don't know if she likes to, if there's something about image there. There's something, and I know when I've channeled it and cleared it from my channel, but there's something that I don't like about her energy. And I'm not saying she's involved in this, but sometimes we just feel a person's, I think she has a knowing of something basically, and I think that's what's putting me off. So Madeleine Soto was 13, and she was reported missing, I believe, on the 26th of Feb 2024, which was that a Monday? Was it a Monday? Let me just check. Monday, same day as Sebastian, I believe. And then since the mother is Jennifer Soto and the boyfriend is Steph Stearns, I don't know why whenever I heard Madeleine Soto, I was thinking, at first I was like thinking, is this in Spain? There's something Hispanic, Spanish, something that I keep getting. I know it wasn't in Spain, I think it was in Florida. So what was stated was actually that Steph was taking Madeleine to school that morning, and I think it was the night before, although it wasn't Maddie's actual birthday, that she celebrated her birthday. And where was that at? Sunday evening, where was that at? Is this where the grandmother comes in place? Which would be interesting, by the way. If it was, because I mentioned that there's something about the grandmother, and it might just be that she just likes her image. But the mother of Madeleine, Jen, didn't attend, and I think it was because she was at work. So it seems like Jen might work nights sometimes. or she didn't finish work until the party was done. And then Steph took her to school. I believe that Jen would have seen her that morning. There was something that I think Jen said that I found weird, was that she went missing between 8:45 and 9 a.m. But that might just mean because Steph had dropped off Maddie. And so 9 a.m. school starts. So, you know, if you dropped her off maybe 8:45, but 9 a.m. school haven't seen her, so maybe that's why. But I felt like it was a bit weird to say. I know that at some stage, I don't know if it was that day, I'll look into it, that I heard that Steph has been spotted throwing, was it Maddie's laptop and maybe a phone or something? Which is strange, isn't it, really? It just says a lot. And there's something about her being dropped off at the church rather than the school. So I don't know what that's about. Is that because that's where he'd drop her off? They couldn't, you know, there was traffic outside the school to park. I don't know what that is about. And obviously some of you that are following this case will know, but I purposely don't look into every single detail to see how we can put it together. But also I'm going to be looking into, because you all know a lot of what is happening, I'm going to look into key things that I've been getting in my notes that are all over the place here. So, I mean, nobody knows why. Nobody knows a confirmed murder. Nobody knows confirmation if the mother was involved. Let me tell you something though, that what I've seen as I get ready to do this reading is that he has been not penalised. Why am I getting that word and not the right word? Convicted of 60 new charges, which I presume a lot of them are SA abuse. And it'll be interesting to see if they're drawing the time frame of like the past 2 years, because I think he's been in the mother's life, what, for, as a boyfriend, let's say, maybe prior is something less of, or living with the mother the last 2 years. So have they been in those last 2 years? I also want to look into, did Maddie inform someone? These two questions, I feel I have the answer without the tarot, so I'm going to try and mix it up and I'll let you know. I also want to let you know, as I was preparing to do this, as well as the anger that I was feeling and taking on, is I could see blood in Maddie's mouth. And it's not like, you know, when your tooth is bleeding or just shedding, it was like blood is in her mouth. I also went into a bit of a panic attack. And here it is. I couldn't quite breathe. So do you know when you breathe but the breath is not going down? It was just stuck at the mouth. And I didn't understand it. Also very closed off at the chest. And I feel a heavy hit in the chest again as well. Just under the chest bone at the top of the rib. That was very difficult for me. So when I was trying to tune in, as opposed to the anger, I got it directly that it's Steph. I got now that that was Maddie. So maybe it was on the day of things going whatever way it was. And also maybe it could have been on several days where things were happening to her. I also got that, even though I said about the name Maddie, I also got that I felt her mother called her like a nickname. Not something bad, but maybe more on the, maybe this is where the Hispanic side come in. So do you know how, you know, we don't really in the UK, but in the US, I think, you know, there's this thing about, there's a word like, are you okay, pumpkin? Yes, pumpkin. We don't use that in the UK, but a similar one that could have been in Hispanic that she would have called Maddie on. I also felt that on the 28th, I don't know when the mother spoke to the press, but on the 28th, there's a communication or there's an interview or there's a clue or there's something that the mother has said or confesses to and it's not been picked up on. On the 28th of February, something was communicated that is key. Maybe it's not out in the press, maybe it was to the police. And I'm just crossing off little things as I say it so that I know I've stated it. Now, it's interesting, Maddie had a lot of numbers in her energy that are even. There was hardly any odd numbers. It'd be actually interesting to see if Maddie, if on the 28th is the day the mother spoke to the police. Let's just look at the cards for a moment. I hope I've covered everything I want to say. Sometimes I don't. So, like, I'll start something and I might not say fully because I'm channeling already something else. What day was her body actually found? That's something I don't know. Because I wonder if her body was moved over a couple of days. We know that she was still alive on the 25th, on the birthday party. Now, was Stefan's car actually seen outside the church? Was she actually seen going down from the car? Because I'm feeling like, again, I mentioned it in one of the other reads, and I think it might be Sebastian. I think he was in the car. I wonder if she was at one stage in the car, but she wasn't alive. So I wonder if they've actually seen that. I'm told to split the deck right here for a card. Interesting, told to split the deck right here for a card, and I get they're all facing that way. High Priestess, Intuition, and Five of Wands. Things that are not disclosed yet. Things that are hidden. There was a resistance here, by the way, and I've not asked the date yet, but I was talking about the 25th. There was a resistance. Maybe it was put up by Maddie. It was a conflict. but there's still some hidden information that needs to come to light in this case. Just want to make sure they're upright, or as many as I can. I just split the deck and I saw the death card, by the way, somewhere here. And I was just going to ask about the 25th, so let's see. Oh my god, I think it might have happened. Oh, let me just former cards. Now, I'm not sure if that was in reverse. I will read it both ways. And 3 of Wands. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. This was in reverse. so this was done between the 25th and 26th, meaning the late night of the 25th going into the 26th. I've just been called back to the first two cards we got, which was the High Priestess and the Five of Wands. I was going to say if she's a Pisces, but she is a Pisces because her birthday was 3 days prior to this happening. We're in Pisces season, and she also died in Pisces season. And the High Priestess was representing her and the battle and resistance and conflict she had to face. During this energy on the 25th, patience was needed as there was a celebration, which we know. There was an ending, a karmic ending here. And like I said, I think it happened very late 25th, like 12 a.m, early hours of the morning on the 26th, but most of the energy is here. There's some of the energy here with the Tower that we get. And then the challenging choices around what to do with the body. The energy of the 25th and 26th going in together because of that, 12 a.m, but some people, don't necessarily say it's the next day until they wake up. The Queen of Wands, it came out and I was going to place it in reverse. This can be a very self-absorbed energy, and I don't know why I'm being referred to with the grandmother here. I don't necessarily think she was involved in the unaliving. I'm going to have to be careful with what I say. There's jealousy here. There's an imbalancement of a feminine energy that acts as a mother. There's a jealousy here. And as opposed to I do feel like the mother had a bit of jealousy, and I'm going to go into that because I made notes of it further down the line, not the beginning, at the end. I feel like Steph started to prefer Maddie. And also I got some visions which I will share with you that I noted. But I also feel like this is the grandmother rather than this. Which is interesting because in reverse it's like a bit of I might look into the grandmother's energy. I'm just getting this energy. I don't mean that she necessarily did anything, but something doesn't sit well with me with this grandmother. And this card is pulling me towards it. I feel like this is more of the mother's energy, the actual mother, Jen. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is not good. It's not necessarily a good energy. Upright, she's balanced. She's a mother that takes care of everything. She looks after herself. She has it all together. In this energy, there's fear, there's mistrust, there's suspicion. There can be a bit of, when I say evil, just more self-absorbed. Mistrusting here. With the Three of Wands that, could have been upright, or we've placed it in reverse here. This is a lack of movement where we had a movement on the 25th. There's a movement forward on the 25th, and then there's this birthday celebration. This was all putting the birthday together, waiting for the evening to come around to have the happy celebration. This is where I believe the event took place. the late evening, and it comes to an end of a chapter for Maddie. That she doesn't see her life moving, you know, going further forward because it's ended here. Now, I do want to tap into these energies, but I'm going to ask for clarifications. I'm going to have to look at the time to make sure that we don't run over, and if I need to do a part 2 because of the recording time. 1 second. So I'm going to look into these energies. There was an imbalancement here. And there was a feeling of hopelessness. Magician. This relates to Steph's energy. Yep, injustice done towards Maddie. There's the birthday celebration. Where's the 10 of Cups. Injustice was done to Maddie on that evening of when she was celebrating after, or, you know, it was the same day of celebrating her birthday. Injustice was done to her. And there was a decision to make around the timeline. But again, I need to know why this was done to her. Justice again. Yeah. Yeah. This 8 of Swords is Steph's energy. And he felt he had power over things, especially when it comes to I wanted to say that his feelings and then needing to put Maddie to rest. Justice in reverse here, injustice done to Maddie. There's more than one party involved and knows about this 100%, and the other party that knows about this is kind of lurking in the shadows. And I think you're gonna find it surprising to know who else knows about this. I'd love to know the mother's sign. It would really help in this. Is she a Capricorn? Let's look at the energy on the 25th, on the 26th, sorry. Inner strength was needed. The 9 of Pentacles in reverse. The Hierophant comes out again. The Moon, hidden things. the Ace of Wands, the Tower around that, the Ace of Cups. The Magician is now in reverse. He was upright in here. The Page of Cups, Page of Swords, the Two of Swords. You know what? I felt like the mother doesn't want to be single. I'm going to pull some of these cards at the end. But I won't be surprised if someone, and please understand who I mean, was involved in some kind of ring. And I've mentioned it in my psychic predictions that rings are going to come to exposure, especially around trafficking and stuff. And I'm not saying that this was what's happening, but there's an involvement of a higher kind of, I don't know why I'm getting master here. There's a manipulation of love here. And we know what was hidden was a lot around SA abuse. That Tower moment came in. And a lot of what was sort of manipulated and done in the dark I wonder if Maddie wasn't the only one in the lifetime of this being done. But by the way, there's something here about the energy around this also connecting. And I'm going to the Ace of Swords here. This is going to a different thing, but there might be exposure on a ring or trafficking of children or youngsters for even online, possibly. And what was hidden around that is going to come to light. This is going to come to light because of Maddie's case, and maybe it's already started to come to light. I don't know. But that person that was involved in that was quite high ranked and very, very manipulative. So this might not necessarily be someone that Steph knew. It might be an energy around the area or something like that. Okay, so it might not necessarily be connected. When I'm channeling these signs of things, maybe sometimes Spirit wants to expose something else. Told to look at this deck. Where do you want me to look, Spirit? Nine of Pentacles. We've got it in reverse here. Here we've got it as the single looking after oneself. I'm being called back to the grandmother here. Just because I feel like she really likes to look after herself, look after her image. It's not wrong, but like she won't extend a hand. Okay, so I think there's going to be a glove or something that needs to be found that's going to give evidence as well. A glove. A hand. That's going to point towards evidence. And I know that Maddie's body was found. Was it found in earth? Because I feel, again, this is another earth kind of energy. Dumped in kind of earth or something. Masculine energy. One older, one younger. Again, I think there's a mixing of energies or connected energies around this. There was a lot of conflict around deciding on something on the 26th. And I think it was to do with what to do with Maddie. And there wasn't an agreement, you know, what to do with maybe her body, etc. Oh, I don't know, this is like, I don't know if some stage she was offered and it wasn't taken up. But I'm asking about the 26th, so that may be, I don't know why I'm getting this by spirit. Yeah, the challenging decision on the 26th, there was a bit of a disagreement with. And I'm still getting pulled towards her being offered and it not being taken, and then there's the ending. Told by spirit to go back to this card and check it out. Lovers, choices and decisions. Yeah, one of them wasn't happy with, you know, what was suggested to be done. And I don't think it's while she was alive, I think it's after. Yeah. After what Maddie would have got, the betrayal and the death. Exactly. There's the earth. So I do believe she was put in earth. Oh my God, please don't show me this card. I don't know if there's some kind of, and I think night was involved. I think it was done at night, which I go back to what I was saying here. Right, let's clear these cards a moment. There's something very karmic about the energy around this, and like I said, there is going to be an exposure, or if there hasn't already, of a ring of exchange. And this person is quite high up. This person is quite powerful, even in the ring, whatever it is. Okay. I don't know why Spirit keeps bringing the grandmother in my bloody head. Okay, so I'm going to go to a deck and I'm going to see here what I know the answer to already. It didn't take long. Yes, she knew. The mother knew what was happening to Maddie. I asked for 4 cards. I asked for a clear direction. It's already within the first cards. She knew what was happening to Maddie. It makes me sick to say, because if you know my readings, I don't like to point at someone. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, facts and findings. She knew what was happening to Maddie. And I knew that from that shaking. That is, I'm not saying that she's not upset, but she's not absorbed the grief yet. She's too much in fight or flight right now, or when she was doing that interview, because she knows what was to come of it. I mentioned a glove, and I'm getting called back to that glove by Spirit. Look at the bottom of the deck, 10 of Pentacles, the Sun card, the Death card, the Ace of Wands. What is hidden is the mother knowing. There was jealousy as well. Was she the main one who was earning money? Did he ever have a job? The portrayal of Maddie and what is hidden and people can't see or has not been disclosed is the mother knowing. And I go back to ask if the mother is in a Capricorn, maybe Taurus or Virgo. And there's something to do with money. There was a hoping of success around that, but part of her unaliving was caused to high S energy, passion, and it happened at the home. It happened at the home. This high S energy that could have led to her, I don't know why I'm getting the words rupture. There's the High Priestess. The Four of Cups again. There was a card here that I was going to turn over. The mother lacked a lot of inner strength. The mother lacked a lot of inner strength. She'd lost being a mother. She'd lost being that protector. She was in the energy of, yeah, she'd go to work. She'd be, I think she was the main provider in terms of earning. He had high S energy towards Maddie. One second. Can you see the High Priestess? A lot not covered. A lot of karma is in this. There's going to be a lot brought to light, and some of it, I think some people are going to be surprised. I think there's a lot of tying in with this. I mean, we talk about a couple of energies that I was picking up on. I asked a question, and I asked, I'm going to ask it again. Oh, I'm getting a sick thought now. Let me tell you about a vision that I was seeing as I was starting this reading. I might have to do part 2 actually, because the recording is getting long. Let me finish this question. Can you see all the karmic justice coming in? You won't believe it. The justice, the High Priestess again. We've got the Moon. We've got the Death. These are very strong cards. The mother knows, and the mother has this hidden information here. And as I'm saying that again, I'm getting called to the grandmother knowing something. There's something there, okay? There's somebody with a Capricorn energy in this energy. I think there was a lot of codependency in this energy. There's some karmic in this energy. And there will be a breakthrough on this death we've seen. That was the breakthrough, and her body was found. There's more communication to come in. That communication is going to bring to light some things. There's still more hidden aspects that are going to come to light. The police will find and dig into this. I think the police might have something in terms of a feminine energy. It could be the mother, could be otherwise. There was a lot of high S energy towards Maddie. And just the vision I got is that sometimes he'd go into her room, he'd be naked, he'd be turned on. So imagine that a man is naked and going towards her. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. Or he might one time have a vest on, but it should be in her room or something, and he just comes in. And when he did that type of stuff, the mother wasn't there, but I'm not saying she didn't know. when he did that particular thing that he'd be turned on and he'd go into her room randomly anytime within the day, naked from the bottom down, sometimes from all the way naked, turned on, and all she could see was obviously he is turned on. And maybe that's where the panic and anxiety I was feeling earlier. I'm going to leave this deck open and I will do a part 2 because there's some cards here I want to elaborate on. And I'm still trying to dig whether there was an impregnancy here. Take care, everyone. Remember, if you want the part 2 to comment below. Look out for part 2 of Sebastian's reading as well. I seem to hit a lot on the head on the first part. If you've not checked it out, I am sorry that that didn't have the best setup with the black canvas. There was just a glare on it, so I apologize for that, but I hope you enjoyed the reading. Take care, look out for the different parts of the readings, and as always, if you're a subscriber, let me know what you want to hear. Take care.